Show me your schedule and I'll show you your future. That sounds simple, but it is one of the most powerful truths Jim Rohn ever shared. Think about it for a moment. Every dream you have, every goal you talk about, every life you admire is built on the same 24 hours you and I have today. The difference is not talent. The difference is not luck. The difference is how those hours are invested. Your schedule is your real autobiography. Not what you say you want, not what you promise yourself on Monday morning, but what you actually do on a random Tuesday when nobody is watching. Some people schedule their future, others schedule their excuses, some people schedule growth, others schedule comfort. When you look at your day, ask yourself honestly, where is learning written? Where is discipline written? Where is health written? Where is progress written? Because if it's not written in your schedule, it's only a wish. Jim Rohn taught us that success is not something you chase, it's something you attract by the person you become. And who you become is shaped daily, not yearly, not someday, daily. A schedule filled only with reaction will create a future full of regret. A schedule designed with intention will create a life of confidence. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And your schedule is the system that decides whether you grow or stay the same. 5 minutes of reading every day looks small. 1 hour of learning looks ordinary. Consistent effort looks boring. But boring done daily becomes extraordinary over time. Your future doesn't care about your motivation speeches, your social media quotes, or your plans written in a notebook. Your future only responds to what you repeatedly do. If your schedule is empty of purpose, your future will be empty of progress. If your schedule is full of discipline, your future will be full of results. Stop waiting for free time. Free time never shows up. You must create it. Stop saying when I feel ready. Readiness comes after action, not before it. Decide today to run your day instead of letting your day run you. Decide today that your calendar will reflect your values, not your distractions, because small daily disciplines, repeated over time, always lead to massive results. So if you want to know where your life is going, don't look at your dreams, look at your schedule. Change the way you spend your time, and you will change the direction of your future. Most people think a schedule is simply a list of things to do, a set of boxes to tick off, a series of tasks to finish before the day ends. But Jim Rohn taught us something far deeper. Your schedule is not a collection of errands. It is a reflection of what you truly value, a mirror showing what matters most to you. Every minute you allocate, every hour you spend, is a vote for the life you are creating. If you glance at your schedule, you are not just seeing appointments or chores. You are seeing yourself laid bare, your priorities reflected with brutal honesty. Think about it. How often do we make promises to ourselves that are never fulfilled? We tell ourselves, I'll exercise tomorrow, or I'll start reading more, or I'll finally work on that dream project next week. But if tomorrow comes and the schedule is already full of distractions, interruptions, and unplanned errands, those promises evaporate. The problem is not intention. The problem is not motivation. The problem is that we do not schedule our priorities, and if it is not scheduled, it is not real. Life does not bend to good intentions. It responds only to action. Your schedule exposes the truth about what matters to you more than your words ever could. People often say, I value health. But if your day is filled with fast food runs, skipped workouts, and late nights, your schedule tells a different story. People often say, I want to grow, But if their hours are swallowed by endless scrolling on social media, binge watching shows, or responding to trivial demands, the truth is that growth has no place in their day. Actions always speak louder than words, and your schedule is your most honest action. Look at it closely, and it will tell you where your life is headed long before you even realize it. There is a beauty and a danger in this truth. The beauty is that by carefully designing your schedule, you can align your daily life with your deepest goals. The danger is that by neglecting it, you slowly drift toward a life that was never intended for you. Each day, as we decide where to spend our time, we are writing the story of our future. Every hour left unplanned is a vote cast for mediocrity, distraction, and regret. Every hour invested in what truly matters is a vote cast for purpose, growth, and success. The sum of these hours determines the trajectory of your life. Consider the small things, the hour you spend every morning scrolling through your phone before you start your day, the 2 hours lost on TV at night, the 30 minutes skipped for a morning walk. Each of these decisions seems insignificant, but over weeks, months, and years they compound. A schedule filled with random, unintentional activities creates a life that feels chaotic, unfulfilled, and out of control. A schedule filled with intentional choices, no matter how small, creates a life that feels empowered, focused, and progressive. Jim Rohn would remind us that it is not the big leaps, but the small, consistent steps, taken day after day, that define the life we live. Your schedule is also a test of honesty. When you examine it carefully, it forces you to confront your real priorities. Do you say you want to be healthier, more knowledgeable, more successful? Then your schedule should show it. If it doesn't, it reveals the gap between your desires and your actions. It is one thing to dream about success, but another to allocate hours in your day to achieve it. Dreams without schedules remain fantasies. Schedules without purpose are wasted time, but a purposeful schedule transforms desire into reality, ambition into action, and dreams into results. Every appointment, every meeting, every commitment you make is an opportunity to align your day with your values. Even the seemingly mundane moments matter. The commute can become a time to listen to inspiring audiobooks. Waiting in line can be a chance to review goals or reflect on your progress. Every fragment of time can serve as a building block for your future, if only you are intentional. A schedule filled with intentional actions doesn't just organize your day, it organizes your life. It trains your mind, sharpens your focus, and builds habits that compound into extraordinary results over time. Finally, your schedule reflects the boundaries you set for yourself. People often complain that life is too busy, that they are overwhelmed, that there is no time for what matters. But the reality is that we make time for what we truly prioritize. The schedule exposes our limits and shows us where to draw the line. If your priorities are clear, you can say no to distractions and yes to growth. If your schedule is cluttered with non-essential tasks, you have allowed someone else's priorities to dictate your life. Designing your schedule consciously is an act of self-respect, a statement of values, and a declaration of purpose. When you finally see your schedule as a mirror, you stop being passive about your life. You stop letting time slip away unnoticed. You start treating every hour as a seed, planting it wisely so that your harvest is rich and fulfilling. The tasks on your schedule are not just obligations. They are reflections of your priorities, the building blocks of the future you are creating. If you want to know where your life is heading, don't ask friends, don't wait for fate, don't hope for luck. Look at your schedule. It will tell you everything. Most people imagine success as a moment, a single big decision, a life-changing opportunity, or a lucky break that propels them to greatness. They picture a dramatic turning point, an event so monumental that it overshadows everything else. But Jim Rohn reminds us that success is rarely born from these headline moments. Instead, it is cultivated quietly, invisibly, in the ordinary hours that make up our everyday lives. It is the consistency of small, deliberate actions, repeated day after day, that eventually produces extraordinary outcomes. Success is less about the fireworks and more about the steady rhythm of our daily routine. Think about a garden. The plants do not grow overnight. There is no instant bloom. A seed must be planted, watered, exposed to sunlight, and cared for over weeks and months before it grows into something remarkable. Similarly, our achievements are the product of countless ordinary hours invested with intention. Each hour you spend learning, planning, practicing, reflecting, or improving is a tiny seed planted for the future. And while these hours may feel inconsequential in the moment, over time they accumulate, creating results far greater than we imagine. Yet, the challenge is that most people overlook these ordinary hours. They wait for inspiration, for a surge of motivation, or for the perfect moment to act. They underestimate the power of consistent, seemingly small actions. A single hour spent reading a book may feel insignificant. An extra 15 minutes spent reviewing goals may feel wasted. Skipping one workout, one healthy meal, or one productive session seems harmless. But these ordinary hours, when ignored or misused, become a quiet thief, stealing our potential, our momentum, and our future. Success does not favor those who wait for extraordinary opportunities. It rewards those who master the ordinary. Jim Rohn often said, "Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment." Discipline is not some dramatic act. It is the patient, persistent use of ordinary hours in alignment with your objectives. It is waking up early when you would rather sleep, practicing skills when you would rather relax, learning when you would rather be distracted. These are ordinary choices that compound over time, shaping who you become and what you achieve. Success does not announce itself with grand gestures. It whispers in the quiet moments when you choose effort over ease. Consider the professionals, the athletes, the artists, and the entrepreneurs who achieve greatness. Their lives are filled with ordinary hours spent in extraordinary ways. A writer may spend countless hours drafting, editing, and revising passages that no one ever reads. An athlete may endure hours of repetitive training, seemingly unremarkable, yet each repetition builds strength, skill, and resilience. An entrepreneur may spend long evenings studying markets, analyzing failures, and refining strategies. Each hour seems ordinary to an outsider, but collectively, they are the foundation of extraordinary achievement. Success is not an event, it is a process. What makes this even more profound is that ordinary hours are available to everyone. Each person, regardless of background, education, or circumstances, has the same 24 hours in a day. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not more time. It is how that time is used. The ordinary hours are the great equalizer. What you choose to do in those hours defines the direction of your life. Will you spend them reacting to distractions, scrolling endlessly through content, or drifting without purpose? Or will you invest them in growth, learning, and meaningful progress? The choice is yours, and it is in these hours that your future is quietly forged. Many people shy away from recognizing the importance of ordinary hours because they crave instant gratification. They want to see results immediately, not realizing that greatness is built gradually, layer upon layer, hour by hour. But those who understand the value of ordinary hours embrace the slow process. They take pride in small wins, knowing that each step, no matter how modest, is progress. They develop habits that compound, like tiny deposits accumulating in a bank, eventually yielding a fortune of achievement and fulfillment. Ordinary hours, when treated with intention, are anything but ordinary in their impact. Moreover, ordinary hours teach patience and resilience. They remind us that real growth cannot be rushed. Each hour spent learning, practicing, or improving strengthens not just skills, but character. They reveal the importance of persistence when faced with setbacks. Success built in ordinary hours is sustainable because it is rooted in the rhythm of life itself. It does not rely on luck, timing, or external validation. It is internal, deliberate, and under your control. Your future is the sum of these hours, and how you use them determines whether it is mediocre, remarkable, or extraordinary. So, when you look at your day, recognize the extraordinary potential of ordinary hours. The hour you dedicate to reading, thinking, planning, or creating is more powerful than you realize. The time you invest in learning, practicing, or reflecting will repay you exponentially. Success does not demand you leap into the impossible. It asks that you embrace the ordinary consistently and intentionally. The ordinary is where the seeds of greatness are sown, and it is the faithful tending of these hours that produces results far beyond what anyone expects. Time is the one resource that cannot be replenished. Once an hour is gone, it is gone forever, never to return. Yet, most people treat their time as if it were endless, allowing it to slip away unnoticed, taken by trivialities, distractions, and the endless demands of others. Jim Rohn's wisdom reminds us that if we do not control our time, our future will be shaped not by our intentions, our goals, or our dreams, but by the relentless pull of distraction. Every moment spent reacting to someone else's agenda or mindlessly scrolling through content is a moment removed from the creation of our own life, and over weeks, months, and years, these moments compound into a life that feels chaotic, unplanned, and unfulfilled. Distractions are subtle and seductive. They rarely appear as a loud warning but creep in quietly. A notification, a casual conversation, a binge-worthy show. Each one seems harmless on its own, yet collectively, they consume hours that could have been invested in meaningful progress. The challenge is that distractions often masquerade as necessary or entertaining. Social media tells you you're connecting with the world. Endless emails demand immediate attention, and the endless barrage of notifications convinces you that every interruption is urgent. But urgency is not importance. If your day is dominated by responding to distractions, your life will reflect that confusion, not clarity. Your schedule will tell the story of reaction rather than intention, and your future will reflect a series of compromises instead of purposeful choices. Controlling time is not about filling every minute with tasks. It is about creating boundaries, setting priorities, and protecting the hours that matter most. It requires courage to say no to distractions, especially when they seem harmless or even enjoyable. It requires awareness to notice how your hours are spent, honesty to evaluate whether they align with your goals, and discipline to redirect them when they do not. This is where ordinary people often fail. They surrender control, believing that life simply happens to them. But life does not happen. Life is created hour by hour, decision by decision. The people who succeed are those who actively design their time, who guard it as if it were the most valuable asset they own, because in truth it is. Every day offers the same opportunity, 24 hours to invest, spend, or squander. The question is, will these hours serve your purpose, or will they be hijacked by distraction? Imagine two people with the same schedule and the same dream. One decides to guard their time fiercely, turning off notifications, focusing on high-value activities, and dedicating hours to personal growth. The other drifts, reacting to every interruption, scrolling mindlessly, and prioritizing the urgent over the important. Years from now, their lives could not be more different. The first person's future reflects intention and progress. The second's future is a patchwork of half-finished projects, wasted energy, and unfulfilled potential. This is the power of controlling time. It determines whether your future is designed by you or dictated by everything else. Distractions are not just external, they are internal as well. The mind is easily pulled into worry, doubt, fear, and indecision. Mental distractions can be just as dangerous as digital ones because they sap energy, cloud judgment, and delay action. Controlling your time means also mastering your mind. It means cultivating focus, practicing presence, and dedicating deliberate hours to deep work. It means recognizing that mental clutter steals not only productivity, but also the clarity and direction needed to shape your future. If you cannot control your mind, you cannot control your time, and if you cannot control your time, your future will be shaped by forces beyond your control. The art of controlling time requires planning, intention, and self-discipline. It is not accidental. Start by recognizing the high-value activities, those tasks that contribute directly to your growth, your goals, and your well-being. Then protect the time allocated to these activities like a precious commodity. Turn off interruptions, set boundaries with others, and commit to blocks of focused work. The hours you dedicate to improvement, learning, health, and meaningful relationships are hours invested in a future you actively design. Every hour lost to distraction is an hour forfeited, a vote cast for a life that might not reflect your dreams. If you control your time, you are in the driver's seat. If you don't, you are a passenger, carried along by the currents of distraction. Perhaps the most profound lesson is that control over time leads to freedom. The person who masters their schedule is not rigid or joyless. They are empowered. They know that the hours they invest will yield results, that their choices matter, and that their life will unfold according to their vision. They are free from the stress of chaos, from the anxiety of unfulfilled potential, and from the regret of time wasted. Conversely, those who surrender control find themselves trapped in the tyranny of distraction. Their life becomes reactive, their potential unfulfilled, and their dreams postponed indefinitely. Jim Rohn's message is clear: Your schedule is the ultimate reflection of who you are becoming. Control it, and you control your future. Ignore it, and your future will control you. Controlling time is not about perfection. You will face interruptions, unforeseen events, and moments of weakness. What matters is the intention to reclaim control as soon as possible, to return to the path of purpose, rather than allowing distractions to dictate direction. Every moment you regain is an opportunity to align your actions with your goals. Every deliberate hour is a building block for a future designed, not accidental. The discipline to control your time is the cornerstone of every success story, the quiet force behind every achievement, and the secret weapon of those who turn their dreams into reality. The bottom line is that time is the most honest measure of your priorities. If you do not manage it, distractions will. If you let them, your life will be a series of missed opportunities and unrealized potential. But if you take control, guard your hours, and invest them in what truly matters, your future becomes a reflection of your intention, your discipline, and your vision. Now, let's pause for a moment and think about what all of this really means. You've heard the wisdom. Your schedule reflects your priorities. Success is built quietly in ordinary hours. And if you don't control your time, distractions will control your future. But what does it mean in your life, right now, today? It means that your future is not something that just happens to you. Your future is something you are designing every minute of every day. It is the invisible architecture of your life, built with decisions, actions, and the careful use of your hours. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. Picture your life in vivid detail. Are you closer to the person you want to become? Are your dreams visible on the horizon, tangible and real, or are they still distant, blurred by indecision, distractions, and wasted hours? The difference between these two realities is simple. The difference is how you spend your time today. Jim Rohn once said, "Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better." And being better is not about wishing or hoping. Being better is about taking control of your schedule, investing your ordinary hours wisely, and refusing to let distractions steal your destiny. Ask yourself this: what are you willing to do for your dreams? Are you willing to wake up earlier to work on your goals? Are you willing to spend hours learning, practicing, and improving when everyone else is resting or scrolling through their phones? Are you willing to say no to temporary pleasure for the sake of long-term progress? These are not small questions. They define the very course of your life. Every decision you make about your time, every action you take or avoid, every hour you waste or invest is shaping the story of who you will become. The truth is brutal and beautiful at the same time. Your schedule is your destiny, and here's another truth: it won't always be easy. Controlling your time, mastering your ordinary hours, and resisting distractions requires discipline. It requires courage. You will face resistance, not just from the world, but from yourself. There will be mornings when you don't feel like starting. There will be nights when you are exhausted and tempted to give in to mindless distractions. But here's the secret: the people who succeed, the people you admire, are exactly like you. They have the same hours, the same challenges, the same temptations. The difference is that they commit to consistency. They choose progress over comfort. They honor their schedule as a promise to themselves, a contract between who they are today and who they want to be tomorrow. I want you to hear this: you are capable of extraordinary things. You have more power than you realize, more time than you appreciate, and more potential than you are currently using. Every hour you take seriously, every minute you invest in growth, every second you dedicate to becoming better compounds into a life you will be proud of. Success is not a giant leap taken once in a lifetime. Success is the sum of thousands of small, deliberate steps taken day after day. Your schedule is the map, your ordinary hours are the building blocks, and your discipline is the bridge between today and the future you desire. Now, imagine yourself standing at the edge of your own life, looking forward, realizing that the path ahead is empty. That path can be filled with distractions, wasted hours, and unfulfilled potential, or it can be filled with purpose, intentional actions, and progress. Which will it be? The choice is yours right now, this very moment. You have the power to take control. You have the power to say, I will not be a victim of distractions. I will take my hours seriously. I will honor my priorities. I will invest in myself every single day. And when you do, the future will respond, opportunities will open, skills will develop, confidence will grow, and slowly, silently, your ordinary hours will transform into extraordinary results. Let's make this personal. What is it that you truly want? More knowledge, better health, financial independence, stronger relationships, a meaningful career. Whatever it is, recognize that your schedule is the path to it. If you are serious about it, it must be written into your hours. If it is not scheduled, it is only a wish. If you want results, you must act. You must take control. You must protect your time like it is the most precious asset you own. Because it is, and here's the truth, nobody else can do this for you. Your future cannot be delegated. It cannot be outsourced. It cannot be wished into existence. It can only be created by the deliberate choices you make today, in your schedule, in your ordinary hours, in the discipline with which you invest your time. So here's my challenge to you. Starting today, take a look at your schedule with brutal honesty. Ask yourself, does my schedule reflect my dreams? Does it reflect the person I want to become? If the answer is no, make the changes. Cut out distractions, prioritize what matters, protect your ordinary hours, invest in yourself relentlessly, and remember, this is not a one-time fix. This is a lifestyle. This is how you take control of your future, hour by hour, day by day, choice by choice. You have everything you need to create the life you dream of. You have the time, the power, the potential, and the opportunity, but it starts with control. Control your schedule, control your ordinary hours. Control your focus, control your discipline, and when you do, the world will respond. Doors will open, opportunities will appear, your skills will grow, your confidence will expand, and slowly, quietly, intentionally, your future will be built exactly the way you want it to be. Jim Rohn's words echo this truth. Either you run the day or the day runs you. Today, choose to run your day. Today, choose to take control. Today, choose your future. And one day, when you look back, you will realize that it was in these ordinary hours, in this conscious control of your time, that your extraordinary life was born.